Classification. Yeah, I know you're excited about this one. So cool down, so we can get started already. Jeez, these guys. Okay, today we're going to learn how organisms are grouped and named. So we learn about classification, we learn about taxonomy. Classification is placing organisms into groups. Now, it was majorly based before on external characteristics of organisms, but later on it evolved to looking at genetic characteristics also. When it was based on external characteristics, the differences between organisms are what made the groups that existed. Now, it would have been very hard to observe some organisms as they were too small. For that, they used the magnifying lens. The specimen would be drawn after being observed. The next step would be calculating its magnification, in this case where you do not have a microscope to tell you the magnification. To calculate it, you would use the formula, the drawing length over the actual length of the specimen. Let's look at an example. Let's say the length of our specimen here is 5 centimeters and the length of our drawing is 20 centimeters. So the calculation would be 20 divided by 5 to give us 4. To be precise, times 4. Easy peasy. The scientific study of classification is called taxonomy, but a good definition would be the science of naming and defining biological organisms. The guy known for starting taxonomy, or as we know him, the father of taxonomy, is called Carolus Linnaeus. We will look at him later on. In taxonomy, there are several levels that exist in which the organisms are grouped. They are called taxa in singular or taxon in plural. These levels or taxon are domain, kingdom, phyla, class, order, family, genus, and species. People have formulated really cool acronyms to help them remember these levels, but the one that I used in school was, did King Philip come over for green soup? Yeah, green soup, right. You can also look for one that suits you, or you can use mine too. Now let's look deeper into these levels. Domain, or as it's known, the super kingdom, consists of archaea, bacteria, and Eukarya. The archaea are prokaryotic microorganisms. That is to say that they are organisms with single cells and with no membrane-bound organelles. Organelles are the contents of a cell, but we'll look at that next week in detail. Archaea are mostly extremophiles. Well, these are organisms that live in extreme environments. For example, some archaea live in extremely hot environments, and we would call them thermophiles. The bacteria domain also comprises of prokaryotic organisms just like the archaea. They are single-celled and do not have membrane-bound organelles. Organisms in the domain Eukarya, unlike the ones in archaea and bacteria, are multicellular and have membrane-bound organelles. We'll now move to the other levels. Now, the kingdom. The kingdom is classified into 5 levels: the Monera, Protoctista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. The kingdom fungi consist of organisms that lack chlorophyll. Some of them are saprophytic, that is to say that they absorb dissolved organic material, while others are parasitic, that is to say that just depend on other organisms to find food. Kingdom Monera, well, has organisms that are mostly unicellular and are prokaryotic. Kingdom Protoctista has unicellular organisms mostly, but their organelles have membranes. Examples are amoeba and algae. This kingdom I think both of us know very well. The kingdom Plantae. They are organisms that contain chlorophyll and they are autotrophic. Autotrophic to mean that they create their own food. Animalia. The kingdom that all animals belong to, including insects too. Now, this kingdom contains organisms that are heterotrophic and multicellular. Heterotrophic mean that they depend on other organisms to get their own food. Now we'll look at the classification and naming of two organisms, the maize plant and the human. To do this, we will need to look at binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature. This is the double naming of organisms. The name given to the organism is universal, so that in whichever part of the world you are in, the name still remains. For example, the scientific name for maize is Z. maize. The first name belongs to its genus or the generic name, and the second name is the species name or its specific name. The names have a specific way in which they are written. If you are handwriting them, for example, the genus's first letter would be in uppercase while the rest are in lowercase. The species name would all be in lowercase. Then you have to underline them separately. If it's in print, you do the same thing, but make sure that both the words are italicized. Let's look at another example. The human. Our scientific name is Homo sapiens. So the first letter of the genus is in uppercase while the rest are in lowercase. The specific name is all in lowercase. Then we underline them separately. But since I am writing in print, I have to italicize the whole thing. And that brings us to the end of our episode this week. So we looked at classification, measuring magnification, we defined taxonomy and looked at the various levels of taxonomy and learnt about binomial nomenclature. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share far and wide. And don't you dare forget that learning is fun.